here are some other examples on how to balance equations. Remember, we had 3 different types of equations. We have synthesis, which are between 2 reactants, which gives us 1 product. We have decomposition, which is 1 reactant that breaks down into 2 or more products. And we have synthesis, we have replacement, which is between 2 reactants that rearrange and give us 2 products. We can have either a single replacement where only 1 element gets swapped, or a double replacement in which 2 elements get swapped. But let's go through and balance these equations. Remember again, we need to balance the left side of our equation with the right side of our equation. So we're going to separate our equation with a line between the left-hand side and the right-hand side. I'm going to start with looking at my irons, which is Fe. I have 1 iron on the left-hand side, 1 iron on the right-hand side. So far, we are balanced. If I look at my sulfurs, I have 1 sulfur on the left-hand side, 1 sulfur on the right-hand side. Again, so far, those are balanced. Moving on to my hydrogens, I have 1 hydrogen on the left-hand side, but I have 2 hydrogens on the right-hand side. That is unbalanced. To balance my equation, I need to increase my smaller atoms, my 1 hydrogen, to make it 2. To multiply, figure out what I need to multiply by 1 to get to 2. I'm going to use a 2 to give me 2 hydrogens. Next, I'm going to look at my chlorines. I have 1 hydrogen. Whoa, wait a minute. Remember that 2 that's in front? It goes both to the hydrogen and to the chlorine. So technically, I have 2 hydrogens on the left-hand side, and I have 2 chlorines on the right-hand side. That's all I need to do for my balanced equation. My other ones, I don't necessarily need to put anything. I can put 1s as a placeholder, and we just assume that there are 1s typically in each of those blanks. Moving on to my next equation. Remember, I need to balance left-hand side versus right-hand side. So I'm going to start with my sodium. I have 1 sodium on my left-hand side, 1 sodium on my right-hand side. So far, I'm balanced. Moving on to fluorine. I have 2 fluorines on the left-hand side. I have 1 fluorine on the right-hand side. So I need to balance on my right-hand side my smaller fluorine. I need that to increase to my larger one. So I'm going to put a 2, which means now I should have 2 fluorines. If you remember, that 2 in front doesn't just go to fluorine, it also goes to my sodium. So I have 2 sodiums. I have now unbalanced my sodium, so I need to go back, put a 2 in front over here to give myself my 2 sodiums on the left-hand side. Now this equation is balanced. Again, I can put my 1 right here, just kind of as a placeholder. Moving on to my last equation, I have Hg, which is mercury. I have 1 mercury on the left-hand side, 1 mercury on the right-hand side. So far, I am balanced. Then I have 1 oxygen on the left-hand side, 2 oxygens on the left-hand side. This is unbalanced. I need to increase my smaller one. So I'm going to put a 2. 2 times 1 gives me 2. Again, that 2 doesn't just go to the oxygen. It also goes to the mercury. So now I have unbalanced my mercuries. To get myself balanced, I need to give a 2 in front of this mercury. Now I have 2 mercuries on each side, 2 oxygens on each side. I can put a 1 right here as a placeholder to show my balanced equation.